Hey guys, as many of you know, I have been going through a lot of life changes since I've lost my spouse about 16 months ago. And today I want to share a lot about my journey and just what I've learned in the last 16 months in grieving, healing, moving on, and rebuilding my life. And if you're someone who has struggled with a lot of life crises in your own life, my hope today is to motivate you and to let you know that you're not the only one and that there is hope and that the sun will shine once again. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Brett Nelson, your host for today's episode. I am the founder of Debt Free Dad. I paid off about $45,000 of debt, have been debt free now for more than 11 years. I've also helped thousands of other people save and pay off tens of millions of dollars with the work that we do here at Debt Free Dad. Now, after listening to this episode, if you would like to take your finances to the next level and you would like to get better results, like let's say you want to build an emergency fund, pay off more debt, have less financial stress, we're going to show you how you can do that in as little as 30 to 60 days a little later on in today's episode. So, guys, this is for me the final day that I am in my house. And if you hear a little bit of an echo because I'm recording this, what you're seeing if you're watching this on YouTube or maybe you're listening to this, on a podcast. But if you hear a little bit of an echo, that's because this house is completely empty outside of this little desk and this microphone and this webcam that I have left. And after these items are removed, this house is completely empty. And for those of you who don't know, I lost my spouse about 16 months ago to suicide. And this past 16 months has been very challenging. It's had a lot of ups and downs and going through grief and healing. And, obviously I've got two children that I've had to take care of during this journey, run this business. It's definitely come with its challenges. But, today I want to talk a little bit about, the sun rising once again in your life. And, don't get me wrong, when I first started this journey, it didn't seem like it would ever rise again. I went through some really dark and tough days, and still today have some tough days here and there, just with adjusting to being a single parent and having to navigate all of these things on my own now. And it's tough. It's not easy every single day. But what I want to do in today's show is just talk a little bit about how your finances and how going through life crises really kind of mingle. And, what I have found going through my own life and a lot of the struggles that I've had in my life, not just this one, but any struggle and even the highs in life, having your finances under control really allows you to move through those types of experiences in your life with a lot less stress and a lot less financial worry. Obviously, when you lose a spouse or a partner, let's say, you're depending on each other's income. Well, when that person is gone, so is their income. And if your finances were already stressful with the two of you, yikes, right? It gets really stressful very quickly. In fact, I've worked with individuals who lose a spouse and they have to end up uprooting their entire lives, their homes, everything, because they just no longer can afford the life that they were currently living. So, what I want to do is share a little bit about some of the things that I've learned over these last 16 months and hopefully inspire you to start making some changes in your own financial life because crises are going to hit. Now, you may not lose a spouse, but you might experience sickness, you might experience a job loss. Life comes with curveballs and its challenges. And by having your finances under control, obviously going through those experiences and having a lot less financial stress is going to be ideal. And it's going to allow you to move through those experiences and those crises with um, a little bit more ease and a little bit more flexibility. So one thing I want to share is that a lot of people ask me over the last 16 months, Brad, how are you getting through day after, experiencing this and having to deal with this loss and with your kids and having to rebuild your life? Like what got you through? And I can tell you the one thing that really helped me the most is that every day, and I wasn't perfect at this by any means because there were some really tough days, but every day I would focus on just one thing that I am grateful to have in my life. Obviously, I have two great kids. They also drive me completely crazy. And if you're a parent, I know you understand that, right? But at the same time, these two kids are fantastic, and they have gone through this experience and this journey, in my mind, even better than I have. They have adjusted so well, and obviously, focusing on them has been one thing that's helped me get through day after day, or just focusing on the fact that I have the rest of my life to look forward to. I have the rest of my life to figure out what it is that I want to do and how I want to rebuild and what are the things that I want to focus on because I love life. Like I'm enjoying life still. Are there dark days? Yes, but I was focusing on the things that what are the highlights? What are the rays of light, so to speak, that are still there? And I would focus just on those because it's easy to focus on the dark stuff and hide in the cave, right? But instead, I focused on the stuff that was really good. This business, this podcast, the work that we do here at Debt Free Dad was another thing that I've focused on and really have poured myself into, because helping other people get their financial lives in order and helping them, improve their lives has been a great motivator for me. Having your finances under control also gives you time to, no matter what crisis it is, it gives you time to heal. It gives you time to grieve. It gives you time to refocus, rebuild. If, let's say, for instance, you lost your job. Ryan, my brother, who's on this podcast, lost his job. And he speaks on this podcast regularly about that experience. He worked for this job for many, many years, most of his adult life. He lost that job, and because he had his finances in order, there was no panic. There was no, freaking out. It was like, okay, let's just take a step back and breathe a little bit and figure out what are going to be the next steps in our lives. And having your finances under control can really help you navigate through a lot of these experiences without a lot of financial chaos and a lot of financial stress. The other thing having your finances under control is it gives you time to have time. You don't have to make these quick decisions. There's been a few statistics that we have shared on our podcast where we share, like, people who are under constant financial stress typically make decisions that make their financial lives worse. And that's because they are constantly just having to make these quick decisions because they haven't afforded themselves financially to take some time, step back from a situation and really give it some time to settle down. But because a lot of us don't really have a lot of money and we don't have an emergency fund built, we got a lot of debt, we got a lot of payments, we're constantly making these quick decisions. And sometimes those quick decisions are more financially based decisions because you got to get money coming in and not necessarily the direction you want your life to go in. Having your financial life also, gives you the freedom and flexibility to have some spending power, right? I mean, over these last 16 months that I've gone through this situation and in this journey, my budget hasn't been perfect. There has been some emotional spending. There has been times where we have gone out to eat way too much, but because we had our financial lives in order, because we prepared and planned for a lot of these things, we had money to be able to have that flexibility, to be able to say, I'm tired today. I got these two kids. Like, man, I can't make dinner tonight. I'm going out. And that happened a lot. And it is still happening a lot. And that'll eventually go away. This is just a chapter in our lives that will eventually will be turning the page to a new chapter, and life will change again. But going through these situations and having the freedom and flexibility to spend and to be able to enjoy life outside of the situation has been really, really good and healing for our family. Obviously, going through a crisis situation, having your financial life in order gives you the opportunity to really look at, what does the rest of my life look like? For someone like me, I mean, I'm completely starting over from scratch in a lot of ways. Me and my spouse, we obviously had goals, we had dreams, we had a vision of what our future was going to look like. And once she passed away and she wasn't here, like that whole life is gone. So not only do you lose that partner or that spouse, but you also lose the entire life that you were working towards. So it's almost two deaths that you're dealing with in a lot of ways. And because we had our financial life in order, because we had life insurance in place and all of that stuff, it allowed me the time to really focus on, what does the rest of my life look like? What do I really want? Where do I want to go? And guys, I'm still figuring some of that stuff out. That stuff can't get figured out in just 16 months after, a life with somebody. It takes time. It takes effort and thoughtfulness, and but having financial freedom in your life, having no debt, having no payments has allowed me the time to really focus on those things without having to say, I can't afford that or I can't do that, because we took care of our finances. This opportunity over these last 16 months has also given me, time to really learn more about myself. And I realized that there were things in my life and my own personal life that I need to work on personally, self development, that there are things that I really am struggling with personally. And, mental health is something that we all struggle with. It's something that we all deal with. And, going through this, it opened up some windows to me of things that I need to work on, things that I need to focus on. And so, going through a crisis can also help you learn more about who you are as an individual and the areas that you need to work on. It's also an opportunity to show what you're made of. I feel, although there were days that I didn't feel it, but for most days, it has given me the confidence, really, going through this, that I have what it takes to get through anything in life. I have gone through some of the worst things that anybody should ever have to go through. And I'm still here. I'm taking care of my kids. Yes, we've had help. I've had some great people in my life helping me. But at the same time, I've realized that I have what it takes to get through some of this tough stuff. And now I get to take what I've learned and apply this to other areas of my life, my business, our future. And that too, that learning or that education that I've gotten throughout this is invaluable in a lot of ways, and it makes you less fearful of life. Like, I can get through this. I can get through anything. If I can get through this, I can get through anything. And here I am, and we're working through it, uh, both me and my kids, and that is such a great feeling. And I know it seems weird because it's like, man, Brad, I mean, how would you learn anything out of someone passing away? And it's like, well, when something like this happens, like I said, you have to rebuild your whole entire life. You have to start completely over, and you get down to the pits of who you are as a person. And it's amazing what you begin to learn about yourself again, and the things that you're good at and the things that you're not good at, areas that you need to improve on, and areas where you're like, I'm proud of myself. Like, I am able to do some of the stuff that I didn't think I would be able to get through. So, guys, in wrapping this up today, number one, I just want to thank you guys out there. A lot of you guys have reached out to me over the last 16 months, whether you've been a Roots member or someone who's listened to this podcast, and you have given your support to us. And I really, really appreciate that. There's nothing more. It's some of that stuff, some of those messages that would come through the emails. Hey, I'm thinking about you. I can't thank you guys enough for that. That has been really helpful. And honestly, on some of those days where life was tough, I can't even express how much those words meant. Also, I want to thank our podcast team, Ryan, Amber, especially Chris and Katie. We've had a lot of ups and downs over the last 16 months with schedules and figuring things out, and me taking a step back here and there with work, and Amber and Ryan really stepping it up here at Debt Free Dad and helping us out and moving us forward. And I can't thank those guys enough. But my last words of encouragement to you guys is, listen, in the ups and downs of life, getting your financial life in order will be some of the best work that you do in your entire life. So if you're looking for some motivation, the sooner you get started, the better off things are going to be in the ups and the downs of your life. Now, hey, if you guys want to pay off more debt, save more money, and take control of your finances, head over to debtfreedad.com and learn how you can get way better results with your finances in just as little as 30 to 60 days. Head over to debtfreedad.com, click on the green button at the top of the page, and I'm going to show you how you can get started. Thanks for joining us on today's show, guys, and we will see you guys on the next episode.